Hey, Engels, my man. It's so nice to have you on the show today. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, and it's a pleasure to be here with you.
Beautiful. And thank you so very much for being here. You see, I truly appreciate it. And you see, my man, oftentimes I love to thank my guest for two things. And I do this so often to the point where it has become an anthem for me. So, firstly, I want to say, Engels, thank you so very much for investing in yourself. You see, you are on this platform right now because you did invest that in yourself. And oftentimes, my man, I love to make reference to the amazing mango tree. You see, some months back, I was on a particular road, and just by the roadside, there was this very tall, unattractive mango tree. And I use the word unattractive because the mango tree's got no mangoes on it, and the leaves were all dry. So I just walked past it and I went my way. But you see, Angos, just recently, I was on that same road. And this time around, a lot's changed about the mango tree. The mango tree caught my attention pretty good from a distance, and immediately I got the urge to move so close to it, of which I did, and it wowed me because now the mango tree's got a lot of mangoes on it, beautiful green leaves and healthy branches. Oh boy, not just mangoes now, I'm talking about ripe mangoes. It was such a lovely moment that day, and I was so excited. Here is my point. The fact that you dedicated your time, energy, and resources to becoming the amazing angles that you are today, that alone has made it really impossible for me to skip you. And that's why you got the request from me to be on the show because I was attracted to the fruit of all that you're doing, your philosophies, your insight, how you're offering your solutions, the impact your work is having. These stuffs are beautiful. And just before you got the request from me, Angles, I said to myself, I've got to benefit from these beautiful things Angles is doing. Not only me now, but even the audience. And here we are today with the amazing Angles. So thank you so very much for doing that yourself. And secondly, thank you for saying yes to the invite. Because if you had said nope, there was nothing Lisha could do about it. Thanks so much, my man. Thank you. Beautiful.
Elisha, I definitely want to express my gratitude to you. You're helping me carry out my mission, my vision to empower many people out there because we all have a story, and I want to be able to share my story to inspire and motivate as many people as I possibly can to help them get to that next level, whatever that means for that particular individual.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
And that's what makes you so amazing. I love that about you. Thank you. So let's get started. You see, Angus, I'm quite excited to have you on the show today for some reasons. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking. I believe in order for one to transition from a terrible situation to that of a beautiful one, I believe it takes the application of knowledge, quality information, and not just knowledge now, but the application of it. And you see, Angles, ever since I discovered that light in the Hebrew means knowledge and darkness means ignorance, I've been so keen to knowledge seeking because I do not want to remain in the dark. So that's going to make our conversation today very important to me and even to the listeners. The second reason why I'm excited to have the amazing Angles on the show is for the sake of the listeners. You see, Angles, we live in an age where information is as abundant as grains of sand. We've got lots of information flying out there. So these folks trust me for quality, eye-opening, and very important information, of which I am totally convinced that our conversation is going to be insightful and impactful. So for that reason, Angus, my man, let's get started with your introduction. Talk to us about your personal or your professional journey, because right now we are so curious. We want to know how Angus got here. Then afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay, Angus, my man, over to you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Elisha. I appreciate it. The quick story on me is I came to this country from the Dominican Republic, so I'm from the Caribbean. And at the age of 5, I met a complete stranger who told me that she was my mother, my biological mother. So you could imagine how much of a traumatizing experience that was. So my mother sent me to Dominican Republic because she couldn't afford me. She couldn't afford to keep me in the U.S., so she stayed in the U.S., finding a home for me until she was able to pull me in. And that basically set the tone for the rest of my life because my family, we grew up on every governmental services that was there. Section 8. So for your audience who do not know what that is, that's basically government assisting housing. Instead of the rent being $1,500, the rent might be $200 per month, for example. WIC and food stamp, additional programs that allowed us to have food on the table and whatever we could get our hands on. And I share that experience to set the tone from the get-go that I came from a very humble beginning. And I didn't realize that in Dominican Republic I was poor. And it was with that realization that I also realized that in the US I was also poor. And I lived in a neighborhood with a lot of distractions. There were gangs, there were beating, there was times that I was ganged up against. But despite all that, I put the distraction aside, and I've been in honors program since the 7th grade. Despite all that, I made it to one of the top MBA programs in the country, actually in the world. And I managed to work for companies like Amazon, like Apple, and create massive impact where I was helping those companies not generate millions, but if not even billions of dollars in terms of the planning process. So one of the things that I've also picked up in my life is that there's a lot of contrast that I've realized. In the Dominican Republic, it was more open doors. It was easy for me to come out. In New York City, I was in an apartment, a building, and it was harder to come out. And in Dominican Republic, is everybody spoke Spanish. Here in the U.S., when I first came, everybody spoke so many different languages, and obviously English. And one of the contrasts that I picked up, having been in the corporate, is that the corporate life is a good life, but that's not my roots, and that's not where I come from. So one of the big contrasts is I learned a lot of great, amazing skills from a business standpoint. But there's a lot of everyday entrepreneurs out there who don't have these skills, and they crave these skills so that they could actually make it, be able to put food on the table for some of them, be able to take a vacation somewhere, and so on. So I've taken the step to walk away from corporate so that I could serve and help out as many entrepreneurs as I can. So that's where I am right now after having decades of experience working in Silicon Valley, California.
Amazing. This is very, very inspiring. And you see, there is someone I'm definitely going to share this podcast with, because I had a conversation with someone who said to me, Elisha, I grew up in a very, very dangerous environment, so you cannot really blame me. It ain't my fault that I became this, so much distraction, and I just don't know. You see, getting to listen to you now, I tell you, it will spark something within that person. Because you said something. You said, despite the distraction, you didn't allow it bring you down, and yet you were still able to unveil the best of yourself. That's amazing. I tell you, that's really, really amazing. And thank you for all that you're doing, for the folks that you're helping. It's amazing with your work. So let us talk about this aspect of it. What growth strategies do most founders never hear about? Can you talk to us about some?
Yeah, absolutely. Uh, and before I jump in there, Elisha, I just want to say that what I tend to communicate to a lot of people is that it doesn't matter how messy your start is or how painful your setback. You're not disqualified from building something extraordinary, excuse me. And we all have the potential to be able to do that. Now, in regards to growth strategy, I'll give you an internal one, and I'll give you some tactics. Now, an internal one, what I mean by that is what is something in terms of mindset that needs to really change in people in order for them to break through that and make it to the next level. And one of the commonality that I see with a lot of founders and entrepreneurs is that they're trading their time for money. Oh, I'm worth $20 an hour, so I have to charge $20 an hour, for example. Or it could be a project. This project takes me this number of hours, and because it takes me this number of hours, I'm going to charge this amount. And what I would encourage a lot of your listeners, entrepreneurs and founders in general, is to step away from making time equal to your money. And instead, think about it, use your creativity to be able to make your creativity scale and be able to charge that way. So for example, for the companies that I work with, and this is applicable across startups, across all businesses. So a company like Apple, they have an iPhone, right? We're all familiar with the iPhone, right? It's a phone, and where the company is not trading its time for money. It has a product that it could sell, and it could sell so many of them, regardless of the timing. It could sell maybe actually millions in an hour, especially the first hour after launch once it becomes available. And given the price point of the phone, we're talking then that multiplies into billions. And that's what I would encourage your listener to start, not step away from trading time for money, but what is it in their skill set that they could do to be able to productize their offering. And I'll give you some real example. The example that I just shared is one of a product. You have a physical product that you could actually give away. If I'm talking to a plumber, or if I'm talking to a medical doctor or a dentist, they have a certain level of expertise. These are folks that provide a service. That expertise that they have, they could convert it into a digital product, whether it's a $997 offer that basically teaches people how to fix their own plumbing, or what it is that they need to be looking out for in terms of taking care of their heart and having a strong cardiovascular system, or what preventative measures they need to do in order to avoid cavities for the teeth, right? So it's taking their expertise and they're productizing. And now it's a matter of putting systems. So now I'm going to the tactical. So now you build an offer that you have productized. And now it's a matter of having systems in place where you could sell many of those out there to the world. And now your time does not equal money because you have escaped that. And now you're using your creativity to be able to create an offer that would cost you upfront time. But then once you have that, then you could sell it in the masses, similar to software. You create the software once you create that software, you could sell it to the masses in terms of different volume. Now, to provide more on the tactical, so I just touched on the idea of one, productizing your offer. The second piece is getting seen. And for that means so many different things for so many different people. I will say there's 4 different types of ways of getting seen and getting attention. One of the ways is going to be through visual being seen. So that'll be going on Instagram, maybe Facebook, maybe YouTube, something where people could see you, whether it's organic or whether it's paid. The other way is audio. Audio would be a podcast, or maybe you could create a library of audio where people could actually spend time hearing you. The third would be visual. So something that you and I are doing, which is this is video. This is a video podcast, so it does a combination of 2 things. And then the fourth would be an experience. And the experience could be something as simple as create a Facebook group. And in the Facebook group, offer to answer any questions related to your expertise so that people are not only interacting with you, having an experience, but they're also interacting with others inside of a community. And that itself is going to evolve into an experience that people are going to start associating with being positive.
Amazing. I mentioned it earlier. I said, I am totally convinced that our conversation is going to be insightful and impactful. I tell you, I was so right. Oh my. Okay, let's talk about
Thank you.
this. Yeah, man. What is a lead system and why does it matter more than traffic?
Yeah, so one of the common mistakes that I would say entrepreneurs are doing is that they want to go and put some money on ads, or they want to go and create a Instagram short or video. That is great exercise, and I'm not discounting it. But the sequence in terms of they're doing it is not really optimal. Because when you're doing a video, you want to take advantage and provide people with a CTA. That is called call to action. If you created this video and you spend so much energy and so much of your creativity creating it, and you got this attention, now is your opportunity to grab that attention and send it somewhere. And that's the problem. Many entrepreneurs, they don't have a somewhere. And that's what the lead generating lead system is creating that somewhere for folks where whether they have a landing page, basically an online sales funnel, and through that landing page, they're able to hook people with a captivating headline and subheadline, explain to people, articulate in an emotional way what is the transformation that they're going to go through, right? So if I have a headache and I take a pill, I'm looking for an Advil, I'm looking for the transformation of no longer having that headache. So it's the similar situation. People are going to click because there's a desire that they want or there's a headache that they want to remove of some sort. In a landing page, the reason why I call it a system is because many entrepreneurs, they're only focused on one tactic at a time. And it's just one tactic. And the way to think about business and being successful is having a system altogether. And with the generating leads system, not only are you attracting people to your landing page and converting them, but once they click, they're getting something in return, a lead magnet. That's what we call. A lead magnet could be anything really. It could be, I mentioned before, the expertise of a plumber, and he's teaching people how to fix your own plumbing so that you could avoid paying $300 to an actual plumber. So it could be a training on something bathroom related, right? People put in their contact information and then they get this training, whether it's a video, a book, whatever it may be. But it doesn't stop there. This is where now you got a part of the system, but the next part of the system is you creating what I call seduction emails. And it's a series of emails. It could vary. It could be 2 months long. It could be a year long. It's up to you. But the point being is, on a certain cadence, whether it's weekly or every other week, you're communicating with the people who reach out to you, and you're showing them that you're a person of authority, and you're establishing trust. That's the most important thing. You're establishing trust. And in the process of establishing trust, you're putting case studies, you're putting testimonials, you're handling objection. And in the process of doing all those things, you're teaching them, you're educating, you're providing offer, you're serving, to the point that by a year, you usually convert these people, and now you could upsell them to one of your bigger package. So that's what creates a system. You have a landing page or a series of landing pages that converts them. And now that you have them, you continue building and nurturing that relationship through email, text message, or whatnot. And it's done automatically. And it's a system where you do a lot of the work up front. And once you have it up front, it just runs on its own. So now you have built that trust automatically, and they're ready to buy because now they trust you.
Amazing. These are very, very profound words and invaluable information. And I tell you, I can't wait to put all of this in practice. We are getting these
Yes.
stuffs for free. Oh boy. Amazing. Thank you so much, my man. Okay, so to bring this to an end, Engels, what would you like to leave the audience with, like a final thought? And to those folks who would like to reach out to you, learn more about everything we've discussed, upon your programs, or ask questions, how can that be possible?
Yeah, absolutely. So I want your listeners to walk away with this. You don't need perfect conditions. I come from the venture capital world, from the startup world, and I share my experience that I come from humble beginnings where there wasn't a lot of resources, but I made the best of what I had. So relentless belief, strategic moves, and the courage to keep building. That's what I want the audience to walk away from. Like, your scars, they don't disqualify you. If anything, they make you a better architect. And the best place to reach out to me is www.generatingleadsonline.com. This is what I would say the first start to growing your business, where I have a 4-hour masterclass where you walk away with having a lead magnet that is going to be powerful, amazing, and solve pain for your target. You're going to walk away with actual copy messaging on your landing page so that it captivates these people. And then you're going to walk away also with an email sequence. Like I shared before, it could be a month, it could be a year, but you will have the building blocks to be able to build more. But we focus on having about a month to 2 months, and so that you could build that trust. So now you already know how to get traffic. Let's turn those traffic into people who trust you, and they're going to end up buying your product. Thank you.
Beautiful. That's amazing what you're doing. I tell you, I love it. So that's going to be the end of the show, my man. Thank you for coming and thank you for sharing this beautiful stuff with us. It means a whole lot. Thanks.
Thank you, Elisha. I so appreciate you. And I hope people do.